Hello and welcome to a Thursday update. This is normal Connor, not Australian Connor. And it is in fact Thursday, and I am here to do some updating. Hello everyone that is chilling in chat. Hello Tracy. Hello from Illinois. Hello from Louisiana. Hello to those places, I guess I should say. We're gonna get into it. Gonna get right into the updates. Have to pull up my list. Pretty short updates as usual here, at least at this time of the year. We have This Is Not a Test wrapping up currently. Have a few of the miniatures on the printing that we're filling in some gaps. There's a little robot mini with a little chicken. Had some issues with that chicken. So we're working on filling in those gaps, but should be getting those processed tomorrow and wrapped up tomorrow/Monday morning, depending on when packages are going out. So This Is Not a Test is pretty good, which also means, those of you who know how we do things, This Is Not a Test will be up for a general re-release very soon. We are looking at potentially as early as Monday of next week. For those of you that have been waiting to get in on the This Is Not a Test, if you'd missed the back room. But it does kind of depend on these few last straggler orders, clearing those and getting them out. We have started Hametsu Season 1 miniatures. So we have started printing the Kappa, got all those production files printed, worked out a few little bumps and kinks here or there on those. As I mentioned last week, that is going to be a pretty significant printing time, but we are fulfilling them in batches as we go. So we should be printing those, we should be filling in those things. Goodness, we should be fulfilling Hametsu orders starting next week, and it'll continue for a few weeks after that. Those minis are big. They take up a lot of space. We're printing them as almost one parts across the board, but they're coming out nice. I think they're looking good. So we'll be getting those out as we go. As far as current projects go, DOB light pledges. We do have a little bit of update there. We got in these PVC samples. Interestingly, they're not made of PVC. The samples that they get are actually made of like a prototype kind of resin-y sort of material. But the detail on these miniatures is great. Not that I had like low expectations, but I just, PVC usually tends to be a little softer, and we are expecting, or at least I'm expecting these to soften up just a little bit once they go in. Oh, we're getting a zoom in here. Soften up just a little bit once we get going. Look at that, we're zooming in, we're going in far. Let me sit you down here. We're going real low. Really good quality. There is, let's see, where's this chick? This chick, I'm not sure you'd be able to make it out, but the sweater texture is like really good. The face details on the miniatures came out really nice as well. That's just her hair. She's looking over her shoulder. I don't know. Very impressed with these samples. So that's still moving along. We have not further committed to the specific production of these yet because of the whole tariffs and back and forth, and it's hard to make a deal with China, but also it's supposed to be easy. I don't know. I'm just at the whim of a tariff. So we are really excited about these, though. A few of them they had to cut up and assemble ahead of time, and the joints came out looking really good. So that's really exciting for us to get these in. That's DLB. Avalon Rising has been creating some art and dumping it in those channels in the Discord for everyone, plugging away at that. as well as he has been doing. Speaking of tariffs, production run of Lunar Spacemen is done / wrapping up. So the lunar plastics are done and wrapping up. We have the invoice for the initial shipping. We're confirming a few things about that. But once those, I think it's 2 pallets worth for this initial batch, we'll be getting those in. Now we are doing some assembly stateside with some boxes and a few other components, a few things. Need to get in these weapon add-on sprues that are going to go with it, the resin add-ons for the little back room that we did, and then also have mass battles, which is still in production. So once we get those plastics in, there will be a bit of a lag time between when they're in our door and we're getting out those 2 people. We'll keep you updated as it gets on a boat and heads our way. We are hoping to get them before the July 9th deadline, yes, but also, does that deadline even matter? Who knows? I don't. It's really just such a crapshoot on if, what port it goes into and what officer's looking at it, and if they even have the ability to put the tariff on at that port. So we'll see. We're not holding our breath, and we're expecting that at some point there will be a bill attached to them that's beyond what we're paying already, which is a bummer, but it is what it is, and they are really cool, and we are still excited to be receiving them and getting them out to you guys. It's pretty fun. I kind of shadow box one, put it up in the office. It's kind of fun to see. General updates. Miniatures. So we are printing some little stopgap fill-in things for, this is not a test. We are printing the Kappa miniatures, which is taking up a lot of the miniature printing currently. And we do have a bit of a little backlog for back order on minis. Nothing bad, should be able to wrap that up within the next week or so. Anything that's currently back ordered, we'll be getting those on the machines and then pushed through production and sent out. Yeah, so miniature, we're just printing minis as we go. Printing batches, processing them, getting them in packages, shipping them out to you guys. Printing as best we can. So, will you be sharing images of the resin add-ons as they get produced for the plastic spacemen? Yes, we will. Ben is wrapping up, which I guess we'll probably talk about now. Well, first, Whispers of the Deep. Whispers of the Deep backroom is still live. Pretty excited about what's going on there. We are getting in the first batches of printed models, like I showed off. We have a few others that we've sent off and are expecting back. So we'll be showing those off as they get in. Keep an eye on the socials for things like that. Wispies, yeah. But we are prepping for the other thing. Yes, Ben is working on new stretch goals as well. But right now, he is prepping on something big, something, there has to be an adjective that's like dinosauric. Something, something megalithic. We Played God. We Played God is coming. We are here to now show off a few of these dinosaurs, a few of these sculpts, getting them ready, as well as show off a little bit, let you guys know a date. So as you can see, Ben has been dinoing away, sculpting some dinosaurs for the first few series, the first few missions and scenarios of We Played God. Should be covering our bases there. So there's some models that we have there. We have some other miniatures coming in. Have our group of initial survivors, everyone from programmers to the handlers to the kids to the tourists taking a cheeky little cell phone photo, to the trainer with his trank rifle. We actually had a pretty fun seeing these come around. These were sculpted by Steve, not Ben. So we had Steve step in and sculpt us some of these guys right there. And then we have some mock-ups here of the books. So these are not final. These are, as you can see, a little disclaimer down there. But getting in some style, getting in some arts, how we're going to be doing all sorts of little things. Ben's playing around, zeroing in on how he wants this book to look, how we're going to display rules, text, and photography, and all sorts of things. Next one up, some nice art spreads, a little peek into Eden, the park that these dinosaurs are supposed to be a part of, the facilities in which they have now gone rogue. Next page gives us some dinosaur profiles. So each dinosaur, those of you in the playtesting channel will know, has their own sort of behaviors and attacks. And when you're encountering them on the table, you'll be rolling up to see what exactly they're going to be doing. Last page here.
Wait, hang on. Wait.
Is it you trying to make this dinosaur eat me right now?
Yeah.
Oh. Dive, dodge. Dinosaurs can't catch me. And then we have some character profiles. So those sculpts you saw earlier of those player characters, the survivors. This will be telling you their baseline stats and abilities. You have the staff guy, you have the trainer, some generic profiles. This is the sort of game where you're trying to recruit your survivors and keep them alive, and that is hard to do when a big alpha dinosaur shows up on the table. So, yeah, we can kind of scroll through those if anyone has any questions or wants to see another look-see here of what's going on with those. The date we're aiming for, and this could flex by a week or two, depending on a few factors. But the date we're aiming for is, let me double check that I read the date correct before I say it. Yes, June 17th. June 17th, a short 12 days, a short, less than 2 week time period that this may be going live on GameFound. That is what we are aiming for here. So there's a lot of stuff in the back end. There's a lot of the GameFound campaign and pledge and all sorts of things that we're plugging away at, that Ben is plugging away at. Doug is plugging away at all sorts of content that'll be featured as well. Day one quick start sort of thing as well. A lot of work going on behind the scenes right now. Jazz, did I ask if MDF is coming for this one? Yes. Yeah. There will be an initial MDF offering. Caveat that this could not happen. Our intention as of now is an initial MDF offering, a more bundled style product. Think Sundered Empire, the Relic Blade kits we have. That is a product that you can add on to the GameFound pledge, and it will arrive with your order. Now, as far as other MDF kits and types of things, Doug has got a lot of ideas. Doug's been writing this game with full creative control over those sorts of things, and he has some ideas of cooking as far as what wooden buildings could be used. So, yeah, expect more of those down the line too. As far as the initial campaign though, we are looking at a bundled offering that should cover almost all your bases. Releasing dinos as you sunset the cargo ship. So the cargo ship is actually set for a redesign. In fact, speaking of a lot of those MDF kits, we've mentioned it in the Discord here or there. A lot of them are older kits that are a lot less efficient to cut, that are material heavy, that sometimes are frustratingly complicated to build, even more so than something like stairs. So while there are kits in that category that we are going to walk away from, there's many that we have ideas of how we would like a version 2 to go. The ship is one of them. If anyone has ever bought the ship, you know it comes in like 4 or 5 big packages that are kind of dictionary thick book style packages. Redesigning that kit to be a cargo ship with the destroyed sections as a secondary product is our intention, and it should make its way back sooner rather than later. That is one of the easier redesigns that we have in mind. Some other things, greatest example I think is a kit, the Hive Construct stuff. Love those kits. That was the first kits that we designed, and there is a thing that we would like to change. That's kind of lower on the list of redesigns just because it's going to take a substantial amount more of effort in order to accomplish. The bank is one of those that is a redesign, but is definitely the biggest red flag with the bank is the roof section, which, while very cool and substantial, and that it's a double layer with multiple walls all the way around, it's like half the cost of the kit is in the roof. And so it's things like that. It's like, oh, if we could simplify the roof, if we could accomplish it in a slightly different way, we would substantially take out the cut time and sheets of MDF and labor and all sorts of things, and just make a better product for both us on the production side and you guys as the customer for those things. As for when it's going to happen, when these redesigns are going to happen, if they will all happen, I cannot tell you that. Don't know. But we did go through, and any kit that you see in that list, we had a specific production meeting about like, do we keep this, or are we retiring it, or if we wanted to redesign, what would that sort of entail? Yes, most likely a lot of these redesigns will be reining in the kits just a little bit in complexity and components that will result in them being cheaper. If one was on the fence, would you suggest weighing on a new bank? I would not. Doug would not, apparently, either. No. If you really want the bank, if you want any of those kits, like I said, I could not tell you when we're going to be getting around to that. Just that we would hope to down the line. But it could be months, 6+ months. It could be a year and a half. It's not going to be over the summer. For the large majority. Maybe something like the boat, in which we're mostly just respruing the sheet sizes to be better. But the other thing is just the amount of kits that we had, and this is something that we're kind of in all areas of our own production, because we do try to keep as much in-house as we can. Game systems, the amount of games that we have, the core elements for games in and of themselves are starting to take up more and more production time on machines. So while even just 2 years ago, it would have been kind of a silly concept to say, hey, we're going to have a machine that's just printing core character sprues for Don't Look Back, because we would print more than we would be selling. That is not the case anymore. So a lot of our machinery, both lasers and 3D printers, stuff that's been a lot more flexible with our production schedule, is becoming more and more specifically dedicated to other things. Mainstay kits, real bread and butter, keep them on the shelf, popular things like that. And it just means that having like 300 plus of MDF kits available is just kind of inefficient. It's easier to just keep running the same machine over and over again with the same few kits than having to roll with the punches on a dozen different kits every 3 days. MDF bread and butter pickles. Yeah, you just take a charred piece of double-sided black paint, just drop it right in that jar, seal it up, drop it in the water, sterilize it. And not only do you get delicious bread and butter MDF pickles, but the botulism is there for free too. So I can only imagine MDF would like 100% give you botulism if you stuck it in a pickle jar. Okay, I think that is most of the things. June 17th, 2 weeks away, a little bit less, for We Played God. That's when the game found. We were aiming for it to go live. Be dropping some of these sneak previews in Discord. You guys can really zoom in, check out what's going on. Look at those dino teeth and those dino claws. Look at that dino skin texture. Perfect for dry brushing. Just itching for it. Doug, Ben, anything else on the list that I need to touch on? I think that's about it. Anyone else in chat? Any product or ongoing project or upcoming project that you would like me to mention that I have not yet? Or maybe you just dumped in, oh yeah, the Hametsu raid. The Hametsu raid, the one from Adepticon, is also being finalized, put on layout, and getting ready to be released. So all of you Hametsu in-gamers looking for more in-game content, if you got a chance to play the raid and you want to, again, if you didn't get a chance to play the raid and you want to get into it, that'll be available for soon, as well as some print-on-demand options for that big guy. Excited for that. Last Mile and Titanic RPG. Titanic RPG is off to the printers for the physical copies. Last Mile, Ben can give me a specific date. I think we were talking about it like 2 days ago, and I just want to confirm what the date will be. Yes, next week. Last Mile should be wrapping up next week, at least the PDF being delivered, and then ordered as well. Lunar RS1 tokens and cards should have the digital options for those at this point? Question mark? I know we're missing like 2 things from the Lunar range that we will be getting to during our next batch of uploading. Uploading the digital files is surprisingly time intensive. And right now, Lunar Focus is wrapping up Lunar Invasion zine that's coming with the Turkey bundle, and then Lunar Mass Battles. So RS1 may come along after that, after the summer, if it's going to hit the Lunar queue. But we have to also give some time and attention to the other game systems as well. So at this point, you may just need to be sticking with the digital version of it. Steeds for Hametsu. There are mounts in Hametsu, and you can find horses. Having a few steeds is one of those things. It's like a very particular kind of skill set to sculpt. And also there's just a lot of cool mounted minis out there already, / kit bashing. A lot of plastic horses, a lot of historicals out there. They give good products for that. So it's not, unfortunately, for the Steeds of Hametsu, it's not going to be really high on our list of internal production things. We do have the mounted Ronin Samurai that comes around every year. Could pick him up. That is my favorite steed, although it is a little more fantastical. Although you're in like a alt history Japan demon killing game, so fantastic should be fine. All right, I think that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in on this Thursday. We'll see next week if it is me or Australian me at that point. Larry, there are rules in the core rulebook. Couldn't tell you the page number off the top of my head, but I know it's about 2/3 of the way through. There are mounted rules for your mounts and companions. It's like a little section about 2/3 of the way through. There will be more STLs for Don't Look Back. FBI agents, supporting characters, yep, that'll be in another round of digital uploads, probably sometime towards the end of June. Hopefully that is also when we round out the Lunar digital uploads around the same time. Cool, that's it. Those are the last minute questions. Any others, hit us up on our Discord and ask us there. We'll do our best to answer or let you know about things that are up and coming or the progress of current projects. Hope everyone has a great Thursday afternoon and good Friday, solid weekend, and we'll see you next week for more updates.